Good evening, everyone. I'd like to welcome everybody to the July 27th, 2022 Town Board meeting. I'd like to get the meeting started with the Pledge of Allegiance by Councilwoman Kirby.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call.
Councilman Jackson.
Present.
Councilman Phillips.
Present.
Councilwoman Kerr.
Present.
Councilman Blaisdell.
Present.
Supervisor Ostrander.
Present. A motion to accept the minutes from the June 22nd, 2022 meeting.
I'll make that motion. Second. Yes.
Any discussion? Councilman Jackson.
Yes.
Councilman Phillips.
Yes.
Councilwoman Kerr.
Yes.
Councilman Blaisdell.
Yes.
Supervisor Ostrander.
Yes. First on the agenda is public comment. First public comment is on the agenda items only. So at this time, public comment number 1 is now open if somebody would like to speak. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Jesse Schwartz. I'm an attorney with Walsh & Walsh, and we represent Heritage Springs Sewer Water Center. I'd like to comment on Resolution 57, 2022. Yesterday, a 2-page resolution was posted on the website having to do with Heritage's rates and rate review. Heritage obviously objected to that resolution, and I sent a letter to Mr.
Is that
Craig.
microphone on before you, people out here can.
Sure. Is that better? There we go. Is that on? Now? There we go. No?
I can hear you.
Can you
Oh,
hear
this is
it
the
back
best I
there?
can do. Can everyone hear me?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we objected to the resolution that was posted yesterday. We sent a letter to Mr. Craig, which I'm sure you all saw. I assume in response to that letter, this morning, the prior version of the resolution was removed from the town's website and replaced about 3 hours ago with a 9-page, single-spaced resolution that is dense with findings and conclusions that we have not had a full opportunity to review yet. But based upon our limited review of the resolution that was just posted 3 hours ago, it's clear it's riddled with errors and contains statements that violate the 2012 settlement agreement between the town, Heritage, and Bogosians. The new draft of the resolution also references a report from the town comptroller. We've been asking for a copy of that report since July of 2021, when it was prepared. And the town has consistently refused to give Heritage a copy of that report. And from this resolution, it appears now, we know why. At page 8 of the resolution, it admits that the resolution is at odds with the findings, conclusions, and assumptions of the town comptroller's report. This resolution that you're going to be voting on tonight appears to violate not only the settlement agreement, but be inconsistent with comptroller's own report that we have not seen. We also know that this draft resolution is at odds with the updated reports of Gary Robinson and Ken Claflin, who again are the CPA and engineer that this town hired as experts back in 2011, in which this town previously commended, whose work this town previously commended is thorough and accurate. So it's inconsistent, apparently, with comptroller's report. It's inconsistent, we know, with Gary Robinson's updated report with Ken Claflin's updated report. Now, I mentioned that there are a number of errors that we observed in our limited time in reviewing this resolution. I don't have time to get into them all. I'm sure we will at some point, but let me just focus on one. At page 8 of the resolution, it states that Heritage Springs does not have to agree or consent to any change in its rates. And this is what it says. It says that argument that Heritage has to agree, that argument would appear to be against public policy, ultra vires, and against the very implications set forth in the stipulation. That's absolutely false. This town cannot change Heritage's rates. It cannot eliminate the connection fee without Heritage's consent. So let me just refer you to section 121 of the Transportation Corporation Law. That says that a sewer works corporation shall supply sewer service to the residents, this is a quote, at fair, reasonable, and adequate rates agreed to between the corporation and the local governing body. That's also repeated in Town Resolution 4-2012. It's also repeated in the settlement agreement. Heritage has not consented to this resolution, will not consent to the elimination of eliminating the connection fees, which decision is based upon facts or findings that we still have not fully seen or digested, but appear to be at odds with the comptroller's report and the reports of Ken Claflin and Gary Robinson. I don't know if all of you have made up your minds already about whether or not to vote in favor or against this resolution. The fact that this resolution, it's before you, was just posted 3 hours ago, the fact that it's 9 pages, single-spaced, dense, appears rushed, inaccurate, and contrary to all these expert opinions should tell you something. It should tell you that this resolution should be rejected. But I don't know how each one is going to vote. What I do know, though, is that Heritage can't sit by while its business is crippled by misguided decisions. So where this goes from here is entirely up to you guys. I would encourage everyone here to reject this resolution and really consider the reports of Gary Robinson and Ken Claflin, and certainly when we see it, we would assume that before the town council. Thanks.
Thank you, sir. Anyone else?
Good evening, and this will probably be the shortest comment I ever had. There's been a lot of hard work put into this, a lot of years of effort to come to this point. And the Heritage financial record before you has not changed. The unfairness of Heritage current rates has not changed. The board has a legal duty to set fair and reasonable rates, and it's time to do so. Tonight is about concluding the years-long Heritage rate proceedings and moving ahead in the best interest of the town of Milton. It is about removing impediments to economic development. It's about putting the town of Milton on a level playing field with other towns in Saratoga County. It's not about me and my brother. It is time to do the right thing with the people and the businesses in the town of Milton. Thank you.
Anyone else? Anybody via Zoom? No? John, all right.
As the town's director of economic planning, I strongly recommend and encourage the passage of resolution 57 for the benefit of future business development in this town and for the benefit of the residents as well. I recently met with the president of the Saratoga Economic Development Corporation to discuss the future business development in our town center. He stressed very much the critical importance of having infrastructure which is attractive to potential business investors, referring to it as clarity of infrastructure. I believe this resolution, if passed, will provide us with that clarity. Thank you.
Thank you, John. Anyone else? No one else, Brenda, please vote. All right, that being said, the first public hearing or public comment is now closed. Moving on, resolution number 46 of 2022. Resolution establishing the Town of Milton's 250th American Revolution Committee. Now therefore be resolved that the town board, after due consideration, authorize a Town of Milton 250th American Revolution Committee consisting of 7 official members tasked in planning and organizing all ceremonies, events, activities, and celebrations recognizing the 250th anniversary of the American Revolution in the town of Milton. Now therefore be it resolved by the town board of the town of Milton to appoint the following committee members: Michael Companion of 121 West Milton Road, Bolson Spa, New York, as the chair; Allie Gilchrist of 692 McCray Drive, Bolson Spa, New York; Michael Golden of 407 Joseph Street, Bolson Spa, New York; Auger Head of 7 Stone Creek Drive, or Stone Creek Court, excuse me, of Bolson Spa, New York. Tom Hurt of 127 Goldfinch Lane, Bolson Spa, New York. Rob Ryder of 509 Ackland Boulevard, Bolson Spa, New York. And Jim Richmond of 43 Catskill Way, Bolson Spa, New York. Motion for resolution number 46.
I'll make that motion. Second.
Any discussion? Councilman Isaacson.
Yes.
Councilman Frolich.
Yes.
Councilwoman Kerr.
Yes.
Councilman Blaisdell.
Yes.
Supervisor Ostrander.
Yes. Next, resolution number 47 of 2022, resolution adopting a budget development procedure for the year 2023. Now therefore be it resolved that the town board hereby approves the budget development procedures for 2023, a full copy of which is attached hereto, which said procedure is hereby officially adopted as town policy, subject to the amendment from time to time and shall take effect immediately. Motion for resolution number 47.
I'll make that motion. Second. Sorry.
Go ahead.
Any discussion? Councilman Isaacson.
Yes.
Councilman Frolich.
Yes.
Councilwoman Kerr.
Yes.
Councilman Blaisdell.
Yes.
Supervisor Ostrander.
Yes. Next, resolution number 48 of 2022, resolution for budget amendments. Now therefore be it resolved that the town board, Town of Milton, does authorize the financial officer of the Town of Milton to make amendments to the 2022 budget and process interbudgetary transfers as follows. See attached. Motion for resolution number 48.
I'll make that motion. I'll second.
Any discussion? Councilman Isaacson.
Yes.
Councilman Frolich.
Yes.
Councilwoman Kerr.
Yes.
Councilman Blaisdell.
Yes.
Supervisor Ostrander.
Yes. Next, resolution number 49. Resolution to declare the equipment obsolete and outdated and no longer needed for town purposes. Now therefore be it resolved that the town board does hereby declare the electronic devices and other miscellaneous equipment on the attached list to be obsolete, outdated, and of little to no value, no longer needed, or suitable for town purposes as it defeats the said devices and items to be properly disposed of as directed by the town supervisor in accordance with the town code and state law. Now therefore be it resolved by the town board, Town of Milton, motion for resolution number 49.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Ryan.
Yes.
Yes.
Any discussion? Councilman Isaacson.
Yes.
Councilman Frolich.
Yes.
Councilwoman Kerr.
Yes.
Councilman Blaisdell.
Yes.
Supervisor Ostrander.
Yes. Next, resolution number 50 of 2022, resolution to hire an engineer to furnish a building condition evaluation, highway complex relocation, and municipal complex site plan. Now therefore be it resolved that the town board, Town of Milton, awards to and hires Delaware Engineering, DPC of 28 Madison Avenue, Extension, Albany, New York, 12203, to provide engineering consulting services for building conditions evaluation, highway complex relocation, municipal complex site planning in the town of Milton, all as set forth in the attached proposal and contract at a cost of $40,000, plus other minor incidental costs, if any, to be commenced and completed within a reasonable time frame as agreed with the town supervisor, subject and condition on Delaware engineering DPC paving prevailing wages, if so required, submitting certified payroll receipts and invoices acceptable to the town comptroller prior to the payment, and providing proper and acceptable insurance coverage. Certificates naming the town of Milton as an additional insured prior to the commencement of work, and it's further resolved that the town supervisor is authorized to enter and to sign all necessary documents to pay all amounts needed in order to effect the same. Now therefore be it resolved by the town board, Town of Milton, motion for resolution number 50.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Any discussion? Councilman Isaacson.
Yes.
Councilman Frolich.
Yes.
Councilwoman Kerr.
Yes.
Councilman Blaisdell.
Yes.
Supervisor Ostrander.
Yes. Just so everybody's aware, Mary Beth, the owner of Delaware Engineer is with us, and hopefully during the next public comment, Mary Beth, you can come up and address the board. Sure. Thank you. Next, resolution number 51 of 2022, resolution to hire camp counselors for 2022 summer camp program. Now therefore be it resolved, town board, after due consideration, does hereby appoint and hire the following: Jack Davis, 136 Round Street, Ballston Spa, as a camp counselor. Hourly rate of $18.59 per hour. Sophia Ostrand, 617 Sunny Lane, Ballston Spa, camp counselor. Rate of $18.59 per hour. Julian Pembroke, 234 Meadowlark Drive, Ballston Spa, camp counselor, $18.59 per hour. And Paige Pembroke of 235 Meadowlark Drive, Ballston Spa, New York, camp counselor, an hourly rate of $18.59 per hour. Both for Town of Milton 2022 summer program. Motion for resolution number 51.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Any discussion?
Yes, I would like to speak, please. Due to the shortage with the amount of kids in summer camp this year, my daughter was asked to be a counselor at the last minute to fill vacancies, so therefore we could have our summer program. So I will be recusing myself from this vote.
Councilman Jackson,
Yes.
Councilman Froelich,
Yes.
Councilwoman Kerr,
Yes.
Councilman Blaisdell,
Yes.
Supervisor Ostrander.
Recused. Next, resolution number 52 of 2022, resolution to hire part-time seasonal personnel for the Parks Department. Now therefore be it resolved that the town board hereby appoint and hires Andrew Santa Barbara of 154 McLean Street, Ballston Spa, New York, 12020 to the position of part-time seasonal parks employee effective July 11th of 2022 at an hourly rate of $19.32 per hour. Hours to be determined by the department head and the town supervisor, with benefits limited only to those that are provided by the town personnel policy, and if any hours to be determined by buildings and grounds department. Now therefore be it resolved by the town board, Town of Milton, resolution number 52. Can I get a motion, please?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Councilman Jackson,
Yes.
Councilman Froelich,
Yes.
Councilwoman Kerr,
Yes.
Councilman Blaisdell,
Yes.
Supervisor Ostrander.
Yes. Next, resolution number 53 of 2022. Now therefore be resolution to appoint a building maintenance worker in the building and grounds department. Now therefore be it resolved by the town board, who hereby appoints and hires Mark Wood of 16 Mechanic Street, Ballston Spa, New York, 12020 to the position of building maintenance worker for the town of Milton effective July 18th of 2022 at an hourly rate of $20.79 per hour, 40 hours a week, with specific schedules to be determined by Deputy Highway Superintendent, and with benefits limited only to those that are provided for and by the town policy, if any, and was said hire to be conditioned on a 6-month probationary period wherein his performance is and remains acceptable to the town board pursuant to town policy. Now therefore be it resolved by the town board, Town of Milton, motion for resolution number 53.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Any discussion? Councilman Jackson,
Yes.
Councilman Froelich,
Yes.
Councilwoman Kerr,
Yes.
Councilman Blaisdell,
Yes.
Supervisor Ostrander.
Yes. Next, resolution 54 of 2022, resolution authorizing the advertisement of bid specifications for an outdoor electronic message center. Now therefore be it resolved that the town board hereby approves the request for proposals for said sign and directs the town clerk to advertise the invitation to bid on the town's website as well as the Daily Gazette and the Saratoga newspaper. Now therefore be it resolved by the town board, Town of Milton, motion for resolution number 54.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Any discussion?
Just one, I will be recusing myself from any discussion or votes on the electronic messaging, as I have a conflict.
Councilman Jackson,
Yes.
Councilman Froelich,
I recuse.
Councilwoman Kerr,
Yes.
Councilman Blaisdell,
Yes.
Supervisor Ostrander.
Yes. Next, resolution 55 of 2022, resolution to appoint a clerk to the town justice in the town court. Now therefore be it resolved, the town board hereby appoints and hires Shannon Brooks of 155 Bass Street, Ballston, New York, 12020 to the position of clerk to the town justice for the town of Milton, effective August 8th of 2022 at an hourly rate of $20.79 per hour for 40 hours a week, with specific schedule to be determined by justices of the town of Milton Town Court and with benefits limited only to those provided by the town personnel policy, if any, and instead hired to be conditional on a 6 months probationary period wherein her performance is and remains acceptable to the town board and pursuant to town policy. Now therefore be it resolved by the town board, town of Milton, motion for resolution number 55.
I'll make that motion. Second.
Any discussion? Councilman Isaacson.
Yes.
Councilman Frolich.
Yes.
Councilwoman Kerr.
Yes.
Councilman Blaisdell.
Yes.
Supervisor Ostrander.
Yes. Next, resolution 56, 2022, resolution declaring a capital project for the relocation of the town fuel island and to be decommission the existing fuel island. Now therefore be it resolved that the town board does hereby authorize, agree, consent to, and declare capital projects for the consideration of a new fuel island, all future town highway, at the future town highway garage complex located at Rollins Street, along with the decommission of the current fuel line complex. The total amount not to exceed the sum of $800,000 to be paid from previous restricted resources held in the general A fund to be removed to the capital projects fund H established for said purpose. And be it further resolved by the town board, town of Milton, resolution number 56, motion please.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Any discussion? Councilman Isaacson.
Yes.
Councilman Frolich.
Yes.
Councilwoman Kerr.
Yes.
Councilman Blaisdell.
Yeah.
Supervisor Ostrander.
Yes. Next, resolution 57, resolution regarding the reasonableness of the rates charged by Heritage Springs Sewer Works Incorporated within the town of Milton. Now therefore, based on the above and the board's findings of the town board, town of Milton, after due consideration, resolves the following. Resolve the board finds and affirms the initial investment of Heritage to be in the amount of $1,114,819, and it to be further resolved that the town boards find that the initial principal investment of Heritage in the amount of $1,114,819 has been fully recouped as of 2011, and it be further resolved that the town interest allowed and allocated a principal investment set forth in Resolution 5 of 2011, and as reconciled between the straight interest calculation and to the figure set in the original Robinson report shall be clarified. The interest from 1998 occurring in a separate column for payment and principal and paid back, and only after the original investment principal is recouped from the hookup charges collected with said interest has, as of 2021, been and or is close to having been fully collected from hookup fees, charges, and collected through the year 2021, and as further as allowed below, and it further resolved that the yearly sewer rate charged by Heritage Springs in the amount of $224.70 is and remains fair and reasonable based on the yearly operation maintenance costs incurred in Heritage and based also in the failure of Heritage to formally charge its adequacy or even request to seek modification despite the indication of Heritage and figures showing the yearly charges may not cover the actual yearly operational costs, and further resolved based on the entire record, the hookup charges of $2,000 per ERU can no longer be considered as a reasonable rate charged based on fulfillment of its original intent and limited purpose, as based in part on the amount of hookup fees collected from 1998 and part of the figures set forth and above fees to be collected below in this resolution, and it be further resolved that the original sole purpose of the hookup charges has been fulfilled. The hookup charges deter public access to the service, actively hinder economic development, orderly development within the town, or contravention of the transportation corporation law. In consideration of the above and below, hookup charges as a rate shall be amended as follows. Reduced from 0 per ERU, sunset and end entirely effective as the date of the resolution is further resolved. that despite of the sunset and hookup charges going forward in the preceding paragraph, Heritage shall continue to be allowed to collect those hookup charges due, owing, and allocated to the following pending and or approved projects at a rate of $2,000 per ERU unless lower amounts was previously agreed to, unless further modification of subsequent resolution of the town board upon receipt of new and compelling relevant evidence, which the board specifically reserves the right as its sole discretion to do and condition on and is so long in the individual projects proceeded to the building permit stage, meaning at least one building permit has been issued for the project within 3 years of the date of the final planning board of approval of the project, with payments to be made in accordance with the terms and conditions set forth in Resolution 4 of 2012. Resolved in this event of the further transfer of ownership of the sewer company to the Saratoga County Sewer and the extent of that August 24th, 2004 resolution SD 07 of 2004, the Saratoga County Sewer Commission and the New York Transportation Law both required such that the town of Milton, to the extent has the authority hereby officially gives the consent to the said transfer. Now therefore be it resolved by the town board, town of Milton, motion for resolution 57.
I'll make that motion. I'll second.
Any discussion? Councilman Oxley.
No.
Councilman Frolich.
Yes.
Councilwoman Kerr. No. Councilman Blaisdell.
Yes.
Supervisor Ostrander.
Yes. Next, a motion to approve a written request for training for principal account clerk to attend training on October 12th and 13th of 2022, hosted by the New York State Comptroller Division of Local Government, cost not to exceed $170.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Any discussion? Councilman Oxley.
Yes.
Councilman Frolich.
Yes.
Councilwoman Kerr. Yes. Councilman Blaisdell.
Yes.
Supervisor Ostrander.
Yes. Next, a motion to approve the assessor, Laura Orlinsky, to attend AG valuation and exemption on 8/12/2022 and V4 valuation on 8/31/2022. Both classes are via Zoom with cost not to exceed $220.
I'll make that motion. I'll second.
Any discussion?
May I ask what these classes are for? For position here in the town as the town assessor?
I can answer.
Go ahead, I just want to say an answer, thank you.
So her ag valuation exemption is for valuating agriculture exemptions and agricultural property. And the V4 valuation is, the V4 is the program that she uses. And it's to learn how to set up and maybe change something on the program
These are
itself.
these necessary as town assessor and as state assessor?
She has to have the ag valuation to be an assessor, and the V4 is definite. I would strongly suggest she take the V4 valuation.
Town assessor or state assessor? That's my question.
V4 is to use the program, the state program. It's to help her with that. And the ag is for, she has to have that to be a town, to be an assessor. Town, state, to be certified, she has to have the ag exemption. Does that answer your question?
No, but that's okay.
Okay, sorry.
Do you have the letter from Laura in the packet, or do you want me to?
No, I don't have it in my packet.
Okay.
I don't know. what-
Okay, I'll read it to you. This, from Laura Minsky, it was sent to the, office on Friday, January 1st of 2022. Good morning, I'm requesting authorization to attend 2 classes in August via Zoom with New York State Assessors Association. I have verified fund appropriation in the assessment AA 1355-400 for $220. I planned ahead last year during the budget season and worked with prior assessor for my staff to take additional training. August 12th of 2022, AG valuation exemption class covers farm and agricultural land assessment and exemption programs. August 31st of 2022, V4 valuation setup. This class will assist with creating new trend tables and updating project values to be used with upcoming assessment projects. The V4 is the New York State real property system as we use in the assessor's office. Look forward to hearing
Thank
back
you.
from you for.
She has her hand up.
So thank you. Thank you.
You got it?
Thank you.
You want to hear from Laura?
No, okay. All right. Councilman Isaacson,
Yes.
Councilman Froelich,
Yes.
Councilwoman Kerr,
Yes.
Councilman Blaisdell,
Yes.
Supervisor Ostrander.
Yes. Next, motion to approve written requests to buy out of 40 hours vacation leave by building inspector Lewis. Dear board members, William Lewis, I'd like to cash out or buy out 40 hours of vacation time. Thank you for your consideration, building inspector William Lewis.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Any discussion? Councilman Isaacson,
Yes.
Councilman Froelich,
Yes.
Councilwoman Kerr,
Yes.
Councilman Blaisdell,
Yes.
Supervisor Ostrander.
Yes, next, a motion to approve written request to take home ACO vehicle made by Animal Control Officer Trzynski. Letter to the board dated July 7, 2022. Dear Supervisor Ostrander, Milton Town Board members, as you are aware, my position as the Animal Control Officer for the Town of Milton requires me to be on call at all times. The majority of the calls that I respond to at night and or the weekends require me to use the truck and equipment that is kept in the truck. I am formally requesting permission to bring the animal control vehicle to my home to me at 1313 Wineberry Lane in Malta. If allowed to bring the animal control truck home, I will not only be able to arrive at call sooner, but I will also have to save time overall. I would be able to drive to all locations directly instead of driving to town hall, to the town hall building at the beginning and end of each call. Also in assisting the animal control duties of the town of Malta, having the animal control truck with me would save at least an hour on each call. I live only 8 miles from the town of Milton Town Hall building and believe that this time save would be more efficient and would offset the extra mileage. More importantly, it would allow me more efficient time as the animal control officer. Thank you for your consideration, Dave Trzynski. Motion to approve to take home ACO vehicle by animal control.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Any discussion? Councilman Isaacson,
Yes.
Councilman Froelich,
Yes.
Councilwoman Kerr,
Yes.
Councilman Blaisdell,
Yes.
Supervisor Ostrander.
Yes, next, the motion to authorize Humana Medicare Advantage renewal for the year of 2023.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Any discussion? Councilman Isaacson,
Yes.
Councilman Froelich,
Yes.
Councilwoman Kerr,
Yes.
Councilman Blaisdell,
Yes.
Supervisor Ostrander.
Yes. Next, the motion to set a public hearing on proposed town code, Article 4, Chapter 63-63-18 through 21, and Chapter 180-37 A and B, and 180-420 for August 24th, 2022 at 6:35 p.m.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Any discussion?
Just so everyone knows, that's to modify the Chapter 63 of the town code entitled Animals.
Councilman Isaacson,
Yes.
Councilman Froelich,
Yes.
Councilwoman Kerr,
Yes.
Councilman Blaisdell,
Yes.
Supervisor Ostrander.
Yes. Next, a motion to authorize a title search on the West Milton Cemetery before the town takes ownership.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion?
How close are we to taking that over, Mike? Do you?
This is the first step as far as I know, because, like I said, I think about 3 weeks ago, Brenda told me that we need to decide if we're going to pursue it. And I said, I guess we are. I wasn't sure what the circumstances were, but so, yeah, in fact, Barbara Ostrander called me today and asked me when this is going to.
I'm happy to see it's being taken care of.
Yes, I told her. Thank you very much today to do that. So.
Thank you.
Councilman Isaacson,
Yes.
Councilman Froelich,
Yes.
Councilwoman Kerr,
Yes.
Councilman Blaisdell,
Yes.
Supervisor Ostrander.
Yes. Next, a motion to waive the Pavilion rental fee for a non-for-profit for the Christ Episcopal Church, letter dated July 7th, 2022, Town of Milton, Town Board, Christ Episcopal Church would like to ask you to waive the fee for the use of Burgess Kimball Park Pavilion and ball fields on August 13th of 2022. We are a non-for-profit group and would like to use the facilities that day to host the racetrack chaplaincy summer youth program. We expect to have approximately 25 children plus chaperones. We will arrive at 9:30 a.m. and leave by 3:30 p.m. Respectfully submitted, Reverend Derek Lloyd.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Any discussion?
I just want to make one thing clear. Usually, if it's a non-for-profit and they're hosting a benefit in the park where they're taking in any kind of money or it's for a function where they take the money, we charge them. But I'm all for this project because it's for a free meal program for the kids for the racetrack.
Councilman Jackson,
Yes.
Councilman Phillips,
Yes.
Councilwoman Kerr,
Yes,
Councilman Blaisdell,
Yes.
Supervisor Ostrander.
Yes. Next motion authorized promoting Jacob Monas from a part-time laborer in the highway department to a full-time laborer with a pay rate to remain the same. Memo dated Supervisor Ostrander, Town Board, from Dave Forbes, 7/21/22, re-promotion of employee Jacob Monas has been working in the highway department as a part-time laborer for the past 2 years and has performed well, and his abilities and duties have grown. At this time, I'd like to promote him from a part-time laborer to a full-time laborer. His current rate of pay is $20.30 per hour, and that will not change his employment. This was appropriated in this year's budget. Please let me know if you have any questions. Thank you, David Forbes.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Any discussion? Councilman Jackson,
Yes.
Councilman Phillips,
Yes.
Councilwoman Kerr,
yes,
Councilman Blaisdell,
Yes.
Supervisor Ostrander.
Yes. Next, a motion to accept the verbal resignation of Nathaniel Akey from the Buildings and Grounds Department. We did not get a written request for resignation from him, so this will be a verbal resignation that he gave.
I'll make that motion.
second,
Any discussion? Councilman Jackson,
Yes.
Councilman Phillips,
Yes.
Councilwoman Kerr,
yes,
Councilman Blaisdell,
Yes.
Supervisor Ostrander.
Yes, one correspondence letter that we received from Trish and Gary Roberts from 537 Lake Lane, Folsom Spa, to the Town of Milton Town Board. We have been residents in the Town of Milton for the past 32 years. Would you please consider redoing the tennis courts and add a pickleball lines to the courts? Thank you for your consideration. Sincerely, Trish. Next, the monthly departmental reports and committee reports. First, the animal control. Total number of calls, 161. Dog bite cases, 8. Dangerous dog hearing, 0. Animal fees, 2. Tickets issued on licensed dog, 12. Running at large, 0. Nuisance dogs, 1. When muzzled requires, 0. Totaling 13. Respectfully submitted, Dave Jazinski. We do not have one for the building department.
Yes, we do. For buildings and grounds, or,
No building department, buildings and grounds.
well, the building department, I have.
You do have one?
Yeah.
Building and grounds, we don't have it.
So during the month of June, the building department processed 29 building permits and collected $7,362.60. In building permit fees, we completed 250 construction inspections, 53 fire safety inspections, and responded to 17 code enforcement complaints. A total of 15 certificate of occupancies were issued and 23 certificate of compliance were issued. We also collected $500 in planning fees.
Next, the comptroller's financial reporting package was issued to the town board and it's made available on the town website. You were correct, there is no report for the buildings and grounds. Next, the highway department, John.
The highway department has finished road reconstruction on Eckler Boulevard. We have begun reconstruction on Good Road and hope to pave Good Road in mid-August. The highway department spring cleanup ended May 15th. Town residents can bring their lawn debris to the transfer station located at 503 Geyser Road. Transfer station hours are Monday through Thursday, 6 a.m. to 4:30, Saturdays, 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. It is closed on holiday weekends. There is no regular pickup of lawn debris until fall pickup begins October 15th.
Thanks, John. Next, Mike, historian report.
Yeah, the first thing I'd like to say is to thank the board for passing the resolution about creating the 250 committee. I think we were the first ones in the county to actually do this. I think from the word I'm getting around, a lot of towns haven't even started the process. Brenda and Lauren